everyone, it's Andrea and welcome to this edition of Talks in the Car. Have you ever been in this position? You really want to talk to somebody. You really want to hear their voice. You want to have a conversation with someone. So you send them a text, you send them an inbox message, you leave them a voicemail, but it takes a while for them to get back to you. And so as you are waiting to talk to this person, it doesn't have to be anything urgent. It's just that you want to hear their voice. And perhaps it is something important. You know, you're looking for advice. You're looking for a listening ear. And it's taking them some time to call you back. It's taking them some time to text you back. It's taking them some time to send you a message back. And as you are in that waiting process, you keep looking at your phone. Your phone sends off a notification that you have a message and you're anticipating it being this person, but it turns out to be someone else. Your phone rings and you look and you think it's that person, but it's someone else. And you know that eagerness, that expectation that you have in wanting to talk to this person, but they are not on your particular time schedule. It may not be they're ignoring you. They could be caught up in some other things. They could be working. They could be talking to somebody else. There's a variety of things that could be going on. But at that moment, they are not at your disposal. You cannot get a hold of them right now. So think about the feeling that you have. And then think about the feeling that you have when they finally do call back, when you finally get a response, when you get a message, when you get that text, when you get that inbox, and that relief that you have, that sense of joy that you have, that excitement that you have, because the person that you're reaching out to, the person that you desperately want to hear from, the person that gives you a sense of peace and a sense of joy and all of those feelings that rise up in you when you hear from that particular person is now satisfied because they have responded. This is how we should be when it comes to our relationship with God. Even when we are praying and we are seeking and we are asking God for things and we are trying to get answers to questions, we are trying to hear from God, oftentimes God does not answer us right on the spot when we're looking for it. He doesn't come to our aid sometimes right on the spot. And there are times when he does, when he's an instantaneous God and he does things on the spot. But oftentimes we have to wait. Oftentimes we have to continue to seek. Oftentimes we have to keep looking at that spiritual phone and seeing, God, have you answered yet? And we have to keep listening for that call, calling us and beckoning us to a place where we can hear what God is saying. And that same anticipation and that same good uneasiness that we feel when we're waiting for a person to reach back out to us, we need to have that same feeling, that same drive, that same anticipation when we are looking to hear from God. And sometimes that's going to be a long time. That uneasiness feeling, that anticipation of wanting to hear from God, of wanting an answer, of wanting clarity, is going to give us an uneasy feeling until God responds to us. But we have to keep looking, keep seeking, keep pushing, keep anticipating God answering us. Keep anticipating God giving us a word. Keep anticipating and knowing that God has not forgotten us, that God has not ignored us, that God is not too busy, but he is preparing us and he is putting us in a place of patience, in a place of wait until he gives us that moment when we are ready to hear what he has to say. And so I want to encourage you today that if you are in that place of where you keep looking at your spiritual phone, you keep looking at that spiritual text, you keep looking at that spiritual inbox messages, where you're looking to hear from God, where you're looking for an answer, where you're looking for God to respond, don't give up on God. Don't feel as though God is ignoring you. Don't feel as if God is too busy to respond to you. Just know that in God's timing, He is going to give you the answers that you need. They may not be the answer that you want. It may not be what you're looking for. There may be some things that God is going to require that you do in order to get to where you are looking to be. But just know that in the silence of God, there is an answer. In the silence of God, He is getting you ready for that promotion. He's getting ready for that, getting you ready for that relationship. He's getting ready to prepare you for what is next. Don't get a sense of feeling, as I said, that God has pushed you aside, that God is ignoring you, that God doesn't desire to have a communication with you. Know in your heart, in your spirit, in your mindset, that God hears you, that God heard you, that God is always listening, that God sees your anticipation, that God sees that you are waiting for Him to respond, and that in His due season, when it becomes time for you to move to that next platform, that God is going to give you that answer, that direction that you need in order to move forward in God. So keep your eyes on that spiritual phone. Keep your eyes in that spiritual inbox. Keep your eyes on that spiritual email. Listen out for His voice. Listen out for that spiritual ring, that spiritual notification, that He has a word for you, and then you will be ready. And as you are ready to hear from God, your heart is being prepared. Your mind is being prepared. Your spirit is being prepared, because you are anticipating. You are looking for what God has to say to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time on Talks in the Car.